What's going on, YouTube? We're back with Shades, and we're continuing our Let's Play of Lucid9. Sorry I've been gone for the last 2 days. I didn't feel so hot on Monday, so I didn't record anything for the rest of the week. So today I'm back. Sorry. But anyway, so last time we left off, we were at the career fair. We're looking around, and like Yama was just like, "Fuck all this shit. I don't care. I have other things lined up. Blah blah blah." But so now we're at Misaki's stand, who apparently works for a modeling company. So whatever. You're standing by my company's booth. We are a modeling company. Surprised, I cast a quick glance behind her. Sure enough, a large banner reads "Lotus Modeling" above a tent with striking photo spreads. Hence the kimono, I assume. You assume correctly. So where's Rui? I haven't seen her all day. In that awkward moment when, really? That's funny. She attends this school, right? What? Of course she does. So you've seen her today? Well, yeah. You didn't tell her about me? Hello, social drama, I missed you. Not. How can I word this delicately? Or better yet, avoid it completely. You should probably be getting back to your job. I have my eye on you, Yama. Don't you really think I could tell when you're lying? I believe in my ability to run away. Always the same, I see. I've made a mental note to harass you about it later. Until then, Yama. She floats back to her booth, greeting any curious glances with an effortless smile. A model. Her job is modeling. Somehow I find that a little underwhelming. I almost expected her to be involved in something drastic, like the Secret Service, or the film industry, or even the Olympics. But modeling, where you pose and change and smile for hours and hours. Adventurous, stubborn Miki? Doesn't seem to fit her. Who knows? Whatever. Whatever. Guess it's none of my business anyway. Time to see Mr. Yoda. I wonder if like more drama is gonna happen today, because I've come to realize that like almost every visual novel I play. Hold on, I could have sworn I lowered the volume for the. Oh, I did. Wow, goddamn, it's just really loud in my ears. But like it seems to be that they like to ramp it up super slowly, or they just hit you in the gut. But I really want to get to the drama at some point. Like I want to know what the main plot is, not just like character development or anything like that. Not that the character development's bad; it's actually very good. It's just I need that drama, cause like, oh god, I really want it. That's that's the only reason I'm playing this game. This time, he opens the door as soon as I knock. I must have caught him at a good time. Welcome, Ishimoto. We've been expecting you. He cackles maniacally and taps his fingertips together. You should have turned in your chair while stroking a cat. Bah! Everyone's a critic. Would you have rather have been left standing outside in the cold? Outside, I've been in the hallway. You seem awfully eager to prove your mentor wrong, boy. Well, whether I prove it or not, it's still wrong, right? Ah, yes, but that would never fly in a court of law, you see. Imagine it, I declare the defendant guilty because from a metaphysical standpoint, it is true, even if we have no epistemological link of knowing so. I just lost you. I get that a lot. Go ahead, take a seat. We've got more important things to discuss, no? Hesitantly, I slide into the nearest couch. I've always seen Mr. Yoda as an intelligent man, even if laid back, but I'd never actually, well, not understood him. I wonder how much brain mass he's hiding behind that cheery facade. So, the new transfer student, Misaki Kazuhaya. I hope you don't mind, but I did a little look up on her. You can do that? Well, there's no explicit rule saying I can't use the confidential databases. I'm pretty sure that there is. Nope, I may be faculty, but I'm not a teacher. It's only stated that teachers have to request special permission. I checked the loopholes. Something feels wrong about this. What did you find out? Well, if I tell you, then that'd be a solid breach of confidentiality. I don't want to go to jail yet. The food's too good here. Mr. Yoda, I really worry about you sometimes. And this is me talking. So instead, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter, Yama. How'd you two meet, as you mentioned that she left? Yeah. I close my eyes and let out the ever-constant hum of the air conditioner to calm my nerves. Then I start talking. It's practically subconscious. My mouth dutifully repeats the train of thoughts slowly running through my mind. Everything is calm, clear, slow. Therapy, something I've gotten used to over the years. So I easily turn my brain to the topic of interest. Misaki Kazuhaya. I met her when I was young. Not too young, a baby still forming thought patterns and ideas about the world, but young enough to be highly impressionable. It had been on a day when I thought nothing could make me smile. Not the vibrant lanterns strewn between the roofs of multicolored booths, not the festive rhythm of the taiko drummers urging the parade of light-bearer dancers, not the stand in which a variety of nutritionally questionable foods were being served. Not even Rui who dragged me out of the house despite my best efforts to stay miserable. It was only around an hour into the festival, but I was ready to go. When Rui went to the bathroom, I seriously considered ditching her and going back to my room. I'm guessing Yama has a very strong history with depression, because without like proper context, it just seems that like he was depressed a lot for no reason, and people tried to help him, but they weren't helping in the right way, from what I could tell. Apparently, I was scowling deeply at that. I didn't know until a passing girl suddenly stopped in front of me. Does your face always look like that? To say the least, that didn't help out my foul mood. I glared up at her. She was pretty. Well, that was the first thought in my head, that instinctive spark of appreciation whenever a guy sees a pretty girl, no matter how much he wants to feel the otherwise. Her hair was braided into an elegant half-updo, light ebony curls framing her porcelain face, big eyes, long lashes, pointed chin, the kind of traditional beauty that you might see in a kimono commercial. Of course, the first spark of interest was immediately overridden by indignance that only an 8-year-old boy could feel. What are you looking at? Don't look so grumpy, you should be celebrating. She didn't know anything, of course, not until a few months later. Festivals are stupid. They are not. Why? There isn't even a reason to celebrate. The girl's face twisted into something resembling anger. It looked strange on her face, like a guinea pig attempting to seem menacing. You don't even know what the festival's about, do you? Well, of course I didn't, but I wasn't about to admit that. Of course I do! Oh yeah, what's it about? Well, you make lanterns. Uh-huh, and? I fisted my hands at her condescending tone. You write wishes on them and stuff. Wrong. Am not. Yeah, you are. You don't write wishes. You write that you want to tell You write what you want to tell dead people. Ridiculous, I should have said. What would I even want to talk to dead people? But I didn't mock it. I couldn't mock it. Dead people? Yep, I can write messages to Auntie on this lantern and she'd see it. How do you know that? Haven't you heard the story? No, I hadn't. But my 8-year-old pride prevented me from saying that, of course. Thankfully, the girl took my silence as confusion. Well, once upon a time, there was a princess. Was she pretty? Yeah. Good at singing? Yeah. Boring. It is not boring. The indignant anger on her face made me snicker, the first time I'd smiled all day. Yeah, well, what happens? Does she get in trouble? A charming princess to save her? Just listen. Look, she's actually a big meanie. A mean princess. That wasn't a fairy tale staple. Oh? Yup, but her bodyguard was in love with her and turned her good again. I felt disappointed. The story had a promising start. Bleh, what'd he do? Cast a spell? Give a true love's kiss? He died. Oh? Doesn't look so happy. That time I broke into a tiny laugh. But it made her good again, right? Well, yeah, she didn't trust anyone before, thought they were all fake and stuff. Sounds like Yama, only male. It seemed that she was glaring at me at the point of the story, but before I could open my mouth, she was already continuing. Anyway, the bodyguard sacrificed himself to save her life, so the heavens were super duper impressed and put him in the stars. Aren't stars really, really hot? That sounds like a bad thing. The childish indignance flickered across her face. They made him into a constellation, you poop. You poop. Bleh. Bleh times infinity. Bleh times infinity plus. Anyway, the princess realized how beautiful love really is. Because he died. She saw how much he loved her, and she decided to be a better person and trust people again. This has nothing to do with writing messages to the dead on lanterns. I was repeatedly losing interest. Rapidly losing interest, goddamn. Let me guess, she lived happily ever after. Well, no, the bodyguard died, remember? I like this bodyguard. She glared at me, but somehow it felt even less severe than before. She wrote her a promise on a lantern and sent it up to the sky so he could see, because he was a constellation, remember? Now I realized that I could have said a lot of things. That's stupid. He's dead. What could he do about it? But that wasn't on my mind at the time. Everyone turns into a bunch of stars when they die? I think? Do you think or you know? If they did something to super duper impress the heavens, I guess. I smiled at that. My eyes scoured the street and landed on a simple booth. A handful of other kids were gathered around a short portable table, scrawling on lanterns with calligraphy pens clamped in fisted hands. Let's go. But I already made a lantern. Write another to a dead person, then. Whoa. With this overwhelming display of tact political correctness, I raced toward the table, snatched a lantern from a smiling adult, plopped down with my pen at the ready. Who are you writing to? None of your beeswax. I began to scrawl characters on my lantern. The girl hovered over my shoulder, squinting judiciously at my jagged brushstrokes. Why is your handwriting so messy? It's not messy. You can't even read it. I whipped around, narrowing my eyes accusingly at her own lantern. Well, yours. I searched for a fault, but not only was her lantern graced with perfect calligraphy, it also proudly bore a few elegant cherry blossoms. Well, yours looks girly. She raised an eyebrow. It was a remarkably sophisticated expression for a 9-year-old to make. I am a girl. There was nothing much to say to that. Yama, where have you been? It was as if Rui had materialized out of thin air. I hadn't even noticed the rapid pitter-patter of her footsteps. Sorry, Rui. Jeez, could have told me. You were in the bathroom. Clearly displeased, Rui turned back to me but smiled at the other girl. Thanks for taking care of him. Surprisingly, the girl smiled back, easy as you please. Well, weren't they getting along just fine? Why did they have to give me such a hard time? Maybe it was a girl thing. I'm Rui. I'm Misaki. You gonna make a lantern? Yup, how'd you make those flowers? They're real pretty. I could show you. And just like that, the two of them were friends. It took a little longer to warm up to me, but whatever the two of them set their minds to, they accomplished. They'd always been that way, so fiery, so capable, so lovely, two playful angels who, for some unfathomable reason to mankind, saw fit to hang around a bucket of depressing sludge like me. Why do you think that about yourself? Mr. Yoda's voice seems to come from far in the distance, faint but recognizable. I respond distractedly. You know me, I'm not useful, or popular, or particularly intelligent. Silence follows the statement, so I only continue. Our families were close. Misaki's father would always throw these get-togethers at their house over the weekends or during special occasions. I remember him being really overwhelming at first. He was a lot like Misaki, only bigger and louder. I rarely saw Misaki's mother. The times I did see her, she was pretty distant. Besides that, I don't really remember much about her. At first, we were inseparable, Misaki and us, but then her father had lost his job and we started seeing less of her. And eventually, they just left. No warning whatsoever. Even our parents tried to get in contact. No luck. It had been as if the Kazehayas had disappeared off the face of the planet. Oh god, I'm off screen. That must have been a really hard blow. Rui says it had been. Honestly, I don't remember much of what followed. It all passed in a haze. Essentially, I felt abandoned. I had this idea that everyone close to me would leave me. I don't think I could even cry. I only felt empty inside. But Rui says that it really was a terrible time. She said that I didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't even play any games with her. She said that I looked like a ghost. Heck, practically became one. And I don't remember it, but she says that one day... Oh god! Yama, what's wrong? Nope, sorry. That's it. Sob story over. Are you sure? You do realize the entire point of therapy was to share your sob stories. It's not a burden, Yama. I'm glad to hear you out. I feel tired. I think I'll have to stop here. It's mainly an excuse, and a very effective one for therapists. Mr. Yoda immediately nods in understanding. Thanks for confiding in me. Just know that what you felt was completely valid. I'm sorry you had that trauma. It's fine. I got over it. I'd like to go now if that's okay. If you're sure. Is there anything I can do for you? I'm okay. Sure you don't want a lollipop? You sure you don't want a lollipop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But thanks. Have a good day, Yama. But at least take this prescription. Prescription? Seriously? Then I actually look at it. 1 bucket of ice cream to be eaten guilt-free. Oh. As far as the administration knows, this is totally a legitimate treatment. Ice cream is one of the core groups in food pyramid, you know. He actually pulls a genuine laugh out of me. Thanks, Mr. Yoda. And thanks for listening. Anytime. Wow! That was amazing! that was actually pretty cool. I don't know. That was genuinely a good look into Yama's psyche, but it seems to me that the more he delves into these memories, the more he feels that he doesn't remember that period in time. He doesn't remember, or at least doesn't remember everything. So I'm guessing that the more he talks about that, more of those small flashbacks will come in, and we will get to see where this all goes. So I'm guessing this, as we delve more and more into his therapy, more and more drama, more and more of the mystery, the horror, or whatever that's supposed to be, will come into play. But oh man, I couldn't tell what I was looking at. I couldn't tell if it was a bottle of pills. I couldn't tell if it was it looked like a glass of water that flashed, but it seems to me that Yama really does not want to remember what happened at that time, whether it's because of the trauma or because of like whatever, he did something horrible or whatever, because that's by thinking at this point. But Like, every time he gets close to that memory, he just has to stop and walk away. And I'm honestly curious as to what that memory is. But let's keep going, I still have a lot of time. I exit Mr. Yoda's office in a considerably better mood than when I entered it. I actually don't feel tired. I feel rejuvenated. Seems like those memories have been weighing on me for a long time. Maybe therapy really will be beneficial. Deciding to take this prescription to heart, I head straight downtown to the downtown shopping area. With my mind cleared, I get to pay a little more attention to the weather. Beautiful cloudless skies and a slight hint of a cool breeze. You! Who the fuck is this? Who are you? A girl careens from around the corner and nearly crashes right into me. Her glasses flash dangerously as she tips her newsboy cap over her forehead, studying me with intensity that could rival an electronic microscope. Me? That's all I can imagine. That's all I can manage to say at the eccentric sight. Well, yes, you, an idyllic, unlettered civilian. Perfect. A hint of satisfied smile tugs at her lips. Who the hell are you? For what must be the 100th time today, I feel a keen sense of impending doom. Respond to my questions with either yes or no. Do not deviate, do not invent, and for the sake of both of our sanities, do not dawdle. First, am I correct in assuming that you're an academy student? You must have the wrong person. I've never seen you before. How can you judge the purpose behind this encounter without knowing the criteria I've set in my approach? I'm not mistaken, you are my target. It doesn't take a genius to sense that this girl means trouble. I decide to conveniently ignore her and step around her. She only steps with me, blocking my path. Again. Oh great, I can sense where this is going. As I envisaged, subject demonstrates a remarkable inability to utilize basic cognitive functions. Talk about uncalled for, abusive words, overly complicated language. He clearly has a few screws loose. Maybe I should call the hospital, see if they have a runaway mental patient. She's not wearing hospital clothes. Look, kid, I don't know what your problem is, but... Kid. This pleasantly cool air suddenly develops a rather harsh chill. She must be in one of those phases, just another 14-year-old expecting to be treated with the dignity of a grandmother. Albeit a 14-year-old who apparently memorized the dictionary. Well, whatever you are, genuinely speaking, it's pretty rude to just run up to some random stranger and insult them. Truly, your idiocy has risen to the level beyond which I had previously surmised. Jesus Christ, I'm starting to mumble. She immediately digs into her pocket and flashes something in front of my face. Shigure Inamoto, freelance detective. Your name's Shigure? Okay. Or Shigure, or however you pronounce that. Legally certified to inspect crime scenes, obtain private files, and if necessary, interrogate unduly inquisitive citizens with the observational finesse of a blind bat. And you shall note that I am 26 years of age. Oh my god, you're one of those! Wait. What? You're 26? Unless you presume to imply that you are deaf as well as dumb, I suggest. But you're so short! I practically feel ice crystals forming in the air. Well, I should strongly prefer to be short in stature than short of cerebral matter, as it seems to be your tendency. Ouch, not a bad blow. But wait, if you're a freelance detective, does that mean this is an interrogation? Am I a suspect? If I have to go to a public station, do I get excused absences from class? I see no need to reverse your expectation that you'll be taking that unexcused absence as they are. Consider it an inevitability similar to your clinical depression. Wow, really? You could tell that easily, that he's clinically depressed? That stops me. What? How could you possibly... What would even make her think something like that? You might as well carry a sign. From your uniform, you're a student at the academy. From the fact that you're wearing it, you attended school this morning. From your presence in the town rather than in class, you are, as I believe they call it, playing hooky. From the prescription slip, you are enrolled in the recently developed therapy method that the academy has been boasting. From your fairly normal physicality and social skills, your problem is most likely clinical depression or something like high-functioning autism. From, okay, I get it, you're a detective. And you're impressed, but pretending not to be. It is pretty impressive. The observations themselves might seem like common sense, but a person who can actually synthesize them is a rare find, which of course just makes her even more annoying. I relax a little, although relieved that she hadn't actually secretly researched me. Now it's your turn. My turn. Of course, what can you see from my physical representation? I invite you to give your brain some much-needed exercise. That gets close to firing me up. Close. Sorry, but I have my therapist's instructions to follow. Unless you have any actual business with me, I'd appreciate it if you left me alone. I step around her again. This time she doesn't move. But just as I think that I'm home free, I hear a soft whisper drifting from behind me. Do you not wish to play a bigger role in society than the inconsequential pawn in this game of life? Or will you restrict yourself to the confines of your own abilities just because of her? I quietly stop. I turn around slowly. Tell me how you know that right now. I shall, after you prove yourself mentally capable of comprehending the simplest of my explanations. Fine, she wants to play it that way? Let her play it that way. Time to focus. I'll start with... Ooh! What is this? Like super analytical mode? A numbers moment? This is cool. Let's start with her clothes. Unlike the standard professional wear I might expect of a law enforcement agent, she's dressed comfortably. Probably can do that because she's a freelance detective. They also haven't been ironed in a while, which means she either doesn't care or is a workaholic. Probably a combination of both. Her shirt proclaims kink, conscious or unconscious association of her to her egotism. I can't tell, but I find it strange that she dressed so casually and expect people to take her seriously. With her height and her clothes, it is any wonder that she's often mistaken for a kid. And one more thing bothers me. She wears comfortable looking clothes, which I previously assumed were for efficiency. After all, chasing the criminals in high heels is a stupid idea. And yet something stands out. Wearing a hoodie is uncomfortable, and so are glasses. Right? No, actually there's nothing wrong with that. What's odd about assuming that she's wearing these clothes for movability? Right, hats are pain to run with, because unless you keep one hand on them at all times, they're likely to flop around, fall off, or generally be obnoxious. And the jeans are too tight to opt for flexibility. Riding in those would either be very uncomfortable or very, very embarrassing, which implies that she just dresses how she wants to. Definitely a very headstrong individual. If she doesn't choose her casual clothes for comfort, knowing that it could interfere with her job, then is she purposely choosing to aggravate others to announce her individualism? She's a hipster. It would match with her choosing to be a freelance detective instead of a corporate investigator. Free-spirited, rebellious, and, I suspect from how she's shamelessly pulling me aside for no reason, got a bit more her heart than her head, despite her intellect. Not bad. Next I should think about her body language. She spreads her weight evenly on both feet, unlike most girls who let it lie more on one side of their hip than the other. Even when on both feet, it almost sounds like formal pod. She could be using this to formal. She could be used to formal settings, but doesn't seem to match very well. The rest of her body language isn't so proper. She seems to hunch slightly with her shoulders loose. No, it's more likely she's in a fighting stance. She seems relaxed, but with the bright-eyed look of someone expecting danger around every corner. That kind of weight distribution doesn't seem to come naturally. Maybe she was in sports, or maybe in self-defense at one point, for a while from the looks of it. I'd like to guess martial arts, but I can't say for sure. There are too many possibilities. Okay then, maybe I should think about this a different way. Her movements are very crisp and close to the body. When she's speaking, she doesn't gesture very much, even when yelling. Generally speaking, sports emphasize emoting on a huge scale, roaring in victory, bawling in defeat, the works. Not only that, but limbs are trained more for gross motor skills than fine motor skills. On the contrary, Shigeru has very tight control over her hands, almost to the point where she seems stiff. Which likely points to something high control, like ballet or archery, or a more subtle martial art like Wing Chun. Well, that still doesn't narrow things down too much. Time to move on. I've noticed that when Shigeru moves, she primarily tends to use her right hand. Her left hand is generally stagnant while her right often takes the most action, adjusting her glasses or tapping against her hip. Probably safe to assume that she's right-handed. So, she used to be involved in a high control form of physical exercise, and she's right-handed. Is that all I can get from her body language? Well, she doesn't wear any noticeable makeup, she dresses like a kid, and she wears glasses instead of contacts, just calling more attention to her pathetic stature. Wait a minute, when I put it that way, it almost sounds like she wants to be underestimated. Even though she pretends to be indignant about being mistaken for a kid, it looks like that's her intent. Even though she's a freelance detective, she doesn't wear a badge anymore, or carry a gun, or anything really. She probably believes that being underestimated is a valuable skill. I can't say that I personally agree, but hey, she's the 26-year-old freelance detective, not me. Why here? Why now? Why me? These are all questions that I need to address. Detectives approach me and bombarded me with questions, but I see no other policemen. Is she doing this because she's bored? No. She's specifically looking for an academy student for some reason. I'm coming up short in this area, I'll have to think about this later. I take a step back and look at the full picture. No, this isn't it. Not quite. That's good information, but it's basic. Nothing stands out. I can't actually use any of this. Time to think a little deeper. Is there anything that can help me? Anything at all? Something I've missed? Enomoto speaking. Yes. If you cannot resolve such an appalling simple task by your own means, I shall consider your intellect no different than that of a headless chicken's. Good day. Now, you may want to hasten your efforts before the ground upon which we stand becomes our gravestones. Yeah, I'm on it. I say this distractedly primarily because I noticed she has a flip phone. Ancient technology by today's standards. Buttons, 2-inch screen, primitive camera, the works. But not just that, it has a terrible looking flip phone, the kind of decor that you'd see on a prepubescent phone. Rhinestones, heart stickers, even the random scrawl from a Sharpie that was too faded from the metal for me to read is completely unlikely. Which means that it's a wealth of information. While on call, she gracefully turned the phone in my direction, allowing me to catch a glance of her wallpaper. Shock, it was a picture of at least a few years old of a guy hugging her. Double shock, she was proudly showing off a ring. Not a cheap cutesy colored ring, like a couple of bands of a new relationship in its second week, a legitimate diamond ring. An engagement ring. But she's not wearing any ring anymore, even though looking at her hands at the moment, I can't even tell that she's ever worn one. Which means that she had once had a fiancé, and he broke up with her. And he did it? The picture was old. I don't know. Recently, right? Oh wait, that doesn't seem right. Why doesn't it seem right? Ah, of course. If an engagement had ended recently, I'd see a tan around her finger, or maybe an indent. Instead, there's nothing. Which means that the fiancé had called off the engagement a while ago. Okay, does it matter if I pick the right choices or not? Does it matter? It might matter later, though. She obviously didn't call it off, not if she's keeping that picture on her phone. In fact, maybe they broke it off amicably because she hasn't deleted it yet. Either that, or she's a stalker. Alright, that's more like it. I think I'm ready. I square my shoulders and look her in the eye. Sorry about the wedding. Hello? What wedding? Is she serious? How could I possibly word this delicately? Yours, the one that your fiancé called off a few years ago. Did he? Didn't he? Unless she does have a wedding ring and she just doesn't wear it? Is it in your pocket or something? You might seek to articulate yourself better. Is what in my pocket? Your wedding ring. Why would I have a wedding ring in my pocket? If your fiancé didn't call off the wedding, then wait. No, there's one more possibility. Like since she's in law enforcement, it wouldn't be unlikely. Immediately shut up as the realization dawns on me. I see you have realized. Yes, he never called off the wedding because he died. I suddenly feel very, very callous. I'm sorry. Silence. Say nothing that you do not mean. Unless you are manipulating others to extract information, as that is an occupational hazard. Right. Even though she continues on, I mentally hit myself for my error. I shall admit, civilian, you have done quite adequately. Train your senses consistently, and you might become moderately useful in the future. Thanks. Really, I'm overwhelmed. But I ask you of this. What is the meaning of a freelance detective approach? What is the meaning of when a freelance detective approaches a student and asks a string of seemingly unrelated questions of him? Actually, you know what? I'm going to save here because I'm almost at the 30-minute mark. And I'm sorry I kind of got almost unintelligible toward the end. It's just that me reading fast and me wanting to get through it real quick, it just kind of makes me mumble a lot. Thankfully, there's subtitles for me because I read these. But this is actually very, very interesting. I don't know what to think about it at the moment, but as of right now, I think the drama is starting to ramp up because there's a detective here. We're starting to get more and more to Yama's memory, and clearly this lady right here, has managed to read him in a split second and managed to actually get him interested in doing what she wants. So there's that. I can't wait for the next part then, because wow, this is going to get real interesting real fast. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me or from this series, hit the subscribe button. And you're now exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys later. You are now going to the end card.